All right, class, so today we're going to look at finding the graphing form, and we're going to look at two different methods. So we'll look at the same example, but we'll do it two different ways so that you can see that we should get the same thing. So we're going to change y equals x squared plus 6x minus 7 into graphing form. So the very first thing that we have to do, if we're averaging the x-intercepts, then we have to find the x-intercepts, which means we have to factor. So we always put our x squared on the bottom left, our negative 7 goes on the top right. You multiply that, that goes on top of your diamond, and your x's go on the bottom. So we have 6 x's. So that means I have 7x times negative x will give me negative 7x squared, and it'll add to give us 6x. So that gives us our factored form, our x plus 7 times x minus 1. When we solve these two equations, we get x is negative 7 and x is equal to 1. So now, step 2, we need to find, oh, let's erase that, make it smaller. I'm just going to make it smaller. We're going to find the average of those two x-intercepts. So to find the average, you add them up and divide by 2. So you're going to take negative 7 plus 1, divide by 2, you get negative 6. Divided by 2, you get negative 3. So once you have what your x value is, you plug it back into your original equation to find your y. So you plug it in, you get negative 3 squared plus 6 times negative 3 minus 7, and that gives you negative 16. So the vertex is negative 3, negative 16. So that's your h and that's your k. If we're going to write it in graphing form, remember you have your x minus your h plus your k on the outside. So in this case, it would be x plus 3 squared. Remember that your h is always the opposite, and then minus 16. Okay, so the other way is completing the square. So we're going to look at the same problem. So since we are completing the square, the first step is to make a square. Okay, so that means your x squared goes on the top left, and you split your x's in half. So since you have 6, you're going to do 3x and 3x. That gives me a square of x plus 3 by x plus 3, which means that in that little corner I need 9. Whatever you need is always negative. Now look at your equation. We have negative 7, so that means we need a total of 16. And then you just write your equation. So you have your x plus 3 squared, and then your minus 16 on the outside. And notice we got the exact same thing. So those are the two different methods for rewriting in graphing form. Don't forget to do your summary.